This is a Nat Kidder Hurricane. Usually, a classic Hurricane is made with light rum and dark rum, so I just substituted the light rum for Nat Kidder Vodka. Fresh lime juice, fresh orange juice, passion fruit juice, simple syrup, and grenadine, with a nice orange slice and cherry for garnish. This drink is quite popular in New Orleans, which is where my guest today shoots her show, Cloak and Dagger. Olivia Holt is a successful actress and very talented singer.
Look like you're in one of those infomercials right now.
The shake weight? Oh, that's definitely making the final edit. I've known Olivia for years now. She's so funny and fun to be around, but she's very busy with everything going on in her career.
I don't know what I'm doing ever, so this is fun.
It took a while, but we finally found time to sit down and have a chat over a Nat Kidder Hurricane. Boom.
Done.
Thanks for being here. Cheers. I'm Riker Lynch, and this is Glass Half Full. Ready?
I'm nervous.
That's where we're starting. We're starting with that. Oh, man. Oh, Olivia Holt.
I'm not getting my legs are dangling off of the chair right now.
We were just setting up, and she was like, guys, I'm so short, my legs can't touch the bottom. Are you really?
Yeah, look. Yeah. I'm swinging them and everything.
You're close, though. You're not short. I'm just really tall.
That's okay. I don't think I'm short. I think I'm like... What is it?
Fun size.
Fun size,
there
yeah.
You go.
No, I don't even know if I'm fun size. I don't even know what I am.
It's like the Snickers, right?
Yeah.
Like they're fun size. Yes. They're not little size.
That's
they're
what I am.
Size.
I'm a Snickers bar.
Yeah. But we don't know. We don't like Snickers. We like Hurricanes. Cheers. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad it worked out.
Me too. Also, I love this. Thank you. I'm also going to make the biggest mess ever, just so you're aware.
No worries. We have plenty of Casamigos napkins.
I'm going to clean your table with the Hurricane that doesn't make it to my mouth.
I love it. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much for making this happen. I know it was tough to figure out schedules, but we made it happen, and you're here now.
Look at us, just making moves. Just coming through.
It. Yeah. We first met, I was trying to sort of pinpoint it, but... Was it on set of Austin and Alley, or was it at an R5 show? I think it might have been Club Nokia.
Yeah, maybe.
I remember meeting your dad at Club Nokia for sure.
That's so funny that you remember when you met my dad.
Maybe you don't
remember when you met me.
Well, I have two memories of you, early on in our whole R5 experience.
Yeah.
I definitely remember re-meeting you or meeting you at Club Nokia, which is where we played, right after our album Louder came out. I think that was.
I remember going to that. I remember going to that concert. I don't know. That's so great. I don't know when it was.
Well, it was one of those, and maybe it was on Aston and Alley, and then, but it's funny how our worlds kind of always intertwine. So, we met there, and then I ended up being the musical director for your tour.
Yeah.
And we had mutual managers.
Yeah.
We're label mates. We were label mates.
Yeah.
And then you were doing a movie with my brother. Mm-hmm. And didn't you do something with Ryland early on in your career?
Yeah, Ryland and I did a Kids Bop commercial.
Kids Bop
one of the OG ones too. We did Kids Bop 14.
Kids Bop 14. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's pretty legendary.
I think they're on 97 now.
Yeah. You know what I saw the other day? When I was buying ingredients for this Hurricane, I saw Now. I think it was 67.
Yeah. See there.
I remember when Now came out. Okay, that was so.
Yeah, I know. That's so funny. I know.
Do you remember buying CDs and just being so amped to listen? What was the first CD you ever got?
The first CD I ever bought was Hilary Duff's Metamorphosis.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had this CD player that was it had rhinestones all over it. Uh-huh. And it was so hard to find the power button and the play button and the skip and reverse because it was on the rhinestones. So I had to look at every single rhinestone to find which...
And it's just the glare and reflection of lights.
Yeah, it was the most epic CD. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is anymore.
Was it like a Walkman or was it a big one?
No, it was like a Walkman. Like it was like a
just
tiny
individual.
Yeah, and then I would like plug in my headphones.
Yeah.
But I remember like going and buying the Metamorphosis album, and
nice.
Yeah, Hilary Duff was my jam.
I think my first was Backstreet Boys.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty sweet. I remember, I think it was their first album. It was one of those, I think that was actually my first concert too.
No way.
Yeah. Pepsi Center, Larger Than Life tour.
That's epic.
Like my first official concert.
Yeah.
But then like my first rock band concert, which I just understood a little bit more about the whole situation.
Yeah.
I think that was years later. I think I saw Jason Mraz like right when
Dude, you've
he
been to
started.
so many great concerts. I went from Sheryl Crow, my first concert,
Awesome.
to the Cheetah Girls.
Oh yes, so great.
So those are like two massively like different.
Yeah.
So different.
They had to have been like both probably big arenas though, right?
Sheryl Crow, so I lived in Memphis at the time, and she played at the Orpheum there downtown in Memphis. And it's a nice Orpheum, like it's like a solid size. But it was like a very like intimate concert, I remember. I was really, really young. She played really, really late, so I was like doing everything I could to like stay up. And then the Cheetah Girls played like the big like forum that was there in Memphis. Super wild though.
Do you know how old you were
I think I was maybe like 8 or 9.
That's
Yeah,
cool. And
super
so
young.
were you the kid like begging to go to the concerts, or were your parents,
Oh yeah.
like, oh, we love music, and because I know your dad's really into music
Yeah, my
too.
dad's super. My dad was the whole reason I got into music, because he grew up. He was in an '80s hair band.
Oh,
and
nice.
just like
We've
totally
actually
like,
talked about
and
this,
yeah, and like so I knew music was like in my bones and something that like I wanted to do because of him. And I remember singing "Soak Up the Sun" all the time by Sheryl Crow. And so he surprised me with the concert to Sheryl Crow, and we went
very
together.
cool.
It was like a super epic moment, just like father-daughter like bonding experience at a Sheryl Crow concert.
Yeah.
So the fact that he like made that happen for me, and that Sheryl Crow, who's like been around forever and just has inspired so many other female artists, is really awesome. And I still like love her to this day.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you seen her since?
No, I haven't. I don't feel like she's ever been like in the area that I'm in. And we haven't been able to like. I did.
Well, you're a very busy person these days too.
No.
No,
Maybe a
you're
little bit.
all over the map. You're doing lots
Maybe
of
a little
really,
bit.
really awesome things. But before we get into all that, I want to know what, like, growing up in Memphis, or not Memphis, but
Like right outside of Memphis.
right outside, yeah. So Tennessee, Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
whole
you got
area.
your big musical inspiration. A lot of that came from your dad.
Yeah.
But then you're also a really good actress. So where did that come from?
Thank you. Man, I don't know. I think it was just something that, like, I mean, my older sister is a cinematographer and writer, and so I grew up with her, like, writing, like, random little things that we would put on for my family all the time. Just, like, a family, like, full of entertainment, much like yours. So, I don't know, I just loved it. And I remember going into theater and falling in love with theater and falling in love with the idea of, like, portraying somebody else. And it all just sort of, like, it started as a thing that was really fun, and I loved, like, sort of the competitiveness of it, like, going in and auditioning, and I don't know, it just seems like a really cool, exciting experience.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into, like, an insane passion of mine. And now I want to make it a career and do it for the rest of my life. So very random, like, how it all started and happened. And I wouldn't have ever even imagined to be where I am or what I'm doing right now.
Well, you're really talented, and
Thanks.
you have the drive, so
Thank you.
You're really putting the work in, and I love watching. I just started Cloak and Dagger.
Thank you.
It almost slipped my mind. I was going to smile at myself. This hurricane, wow!
I know.
No, we just started Cloak and Dagger, and it's
Cool.
a lot darker than I
Yeah.
thought it would be.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
I thought the same thing. We got the script. Actually, we got the script when I had already booked the role. So, like, all I had gotten were
Like
sides.
audition sides. Well, let's
and-
talk a little bit about that. So you get the audition was from your agent or whatever.
Yeah, so I get a call from my agent.
And is
they're
it one of
like-
these typical Marvel things where they don't tell you anything?
Yeah, it's very
Okay.
hush-hush.
Yeah.
Everything is very hush-hush. You have to sign NDA after NDA, which is fine. I get it. That's their thing. And I just remember going in for an untitled Marvel project.
Right.
And I was like, I love Marvel, so what can possibly go wrong with this? Like, I just got to put my faith and trust in them. And And then I ended up finding out it was for Cloak and Dagger. So they still didn't give us any sort of script. So I actually got the first comic, and I read the comic just to sort of understand, like, the characters and the tone and the story. And then I ended up booking the role. We went down to New Orleans for a month to shoot the first episode. And I remember getting to New Orleans.
A month just for the first episode? Wow.
Yeah. And I remember getting to New Orleans. They gave me, like, this, like, it was a big envelope, so it was my script. And they were like, take this, go home and read it, then destroy it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
I was like, this is really, like, scary. Yeah. So I go home. Yeah, and I go back to my hotel, and I'm sitting there and I'm reading the script, and I was, like, so blown away by just how, like you said, dark it was. Like, I knew it was going to be a show about two young superheroes sort of, like, finding their way, not just as, like, young teenagers, learning how to cope with, like, their own lives, but also, like, learning how to cope with the fact that they just found out they have these powers.
Right, and they've also, like, been through some stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, life has been very hard, and they've found themselves in very difficult situations.
Very, very difficult, yeah.
And they portray that all in the pilot, and I was just, I don't know why I just was not thinking it was going to be, like, I was thinking, I don't know what I was even thinking.
Yeah, I know.
But it was very, like, oh, shoot, this is like, all right, cool,
intense,
let's do this.
Super intense, and I love the fact that we, like, touch on certain things that are happening in society right now. Like, we focus a lot on, like, police brutality and sexual assault and drug addiction and, like, all these things that are, like, so current and happening to not just, you know, our friends but, like, our family members and, like, you know, people who are, like, super close to us. And so I love that, and it's also shot very cinematically, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah.
It showcases New Orleans in, like, the best way. I think if you're going to shoot something in New Orleans, like, show it off, because it is one
some cool
beautiful,
stuff.
like, it's like a heartbreakingly beautiful city, right? Because it's, like, going through all of this, like, destruction, but it's, like, just constantly fighting back. And
Yeah,
I love
that's very
it.
true. Yeah. On tour, we had one or two... I say that because I'm really not sure. One or two really fun nights in New Orleans. Just great. We were always just passing through. We've never played a show there for some reason, but it was just passing through, and it was just
It's
awesome.
a cool city, yeah.
So fun.
We were there during hurricane season, shooting the first season.
Oh, really? You have any like kind of like, you know, fire alarms going off?
Crazy.
Or not fire alarms, but I guess hurricane alarms? Hey!
I was stuck up in my apartment building for like 3 days. The entire city flooded.
Whoa.
I remember looking out like of my window, and people were legitimately kayaking.
I was going to guess
were
that.
kayaking.
That's so awesome.
They were kayaking in the streets, and I was
Yes,
like,
they're like, woo!
I love New Orleans. Like,
this guy's like, I
there's
gotta
a
get to work.
hurricane
I don't
out
give a
there.
shit.
No.
I got kids to feed.
He was booking it. I was like, it was crazy, but it's amazing. They're
awesome.
ready for it. They're prepared, and
they're like professionals now. Like, literally the guy with the kayak, he's like, I gotta get to work.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting this
I'm
out.
like, where'd you get the kayak, man?
Just
in
chilling
his
in the
garage.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Crazy.
And you're getting ready to do season 2.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's, I think we're sort of...
No spoilers, because
I know. But I think just this season we're just like taking it to the next level, and
Awesome.
I think it'll be great and even darker. And I like the fact that it's like grounded and like effortlessly cool in all these ways that people can like relate to, but also sort of like live in the fantasy world of these heroes. And
Right. Well,
cool.
it's in the Marvel universe, so it's always
Yeah.
fun to hear like little, one or two lines that like throw back to the movies and stuff like that. Like I
little
love,
like
love
Marvel
that
Easter
stuff.
eggs
Yeah.
here and there. We have a couple of them.
Those are always really, really fun to try to catch and find. Well, real quick, I just want to back up to the audition because I'm just curious. How many times did you have to go in?
So I went in once, and I actually originally went in with...
Like, did you self-tape before? Or
No.
you go into the room?
I just went in.
Okay.
I went into the room, and they had me go in with a really thick Southern accent.
Really?
And I'm from the South, so I was like, cool, I'll just
Yeah.
pull this out of my back pocket. It's not as good anymore, but I went in, and I did the first scene with the accent, and they were like, okay, you can lose the accent. I was like, I don't know what you're trying to say, but okay. And then I left. It went good. Then I went back in again it was like super. It was probably one of the quickest audition processes I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah, because when I went back in for a chemistry read.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was with
It was with Aubrey Joseph, my co-star, and a couple other people. Obviously, with chemistry, you mix and match different people. But it was crazy because like when him and I went into the room, Gina Prince Bythewood, who directed our first episode, she had us do this crazy improv scene, which I'm not the biggest fan of improv, especially when it's like dramatic. It's like very hard because I didn't have anything to sort of like base it off of either, because I didn't have any sort of script. Like they were just audition sides.
Right.
So, but it was crazy. It was magic. It was really cool. Like how we just.
So what did she? What did she say?
She pulled us both out into the hallway
improv?
Separately, and she told Aubrey, "Hey, we're gonna do just like a quick improv scene based off of the scene that you guys just did. Just sort of run with that idea in your head, and Olivia, like, she'll know what you're doing." And he was like, okay. And then she like calls me out into the hallway, says the same thing. She's like, "Hey, we're just gonna do like a quick improv scene based off of the scene you guys just did. Aubrey will know what you're doing." I was like, okay. And so we go into the room. We're literally sitting like this, like right across from each other, and we just start talking. And by the end of the scene, both of us were in tears. We ended the scene, and like you could just feel like, I don't know, you could just like feel this crazy, like tense sort of like sigh. It was like a compliment though, you know, like it felt good. Like everyone felt empowered by the scene, but also really confident in what we just did. And
you just finished it, and you looked over at each other, and you're like, yeah, we just booked this.
I think we were both very confident that we were hopefully moving forward, but I think at the end of the day, like we just did something really cool that nobody can ever take away from us, and that's what matters most. So. And then a couple days later, we both found out we booked the part. I saw Aubrey at the airport, and we were both just geeking
here we
out.
go.
Yeah, really cool.
How many
really,
episodes
really cool.
was the first season?
10, 42, 3, 4, 5 minute. They
Right.
change every time. I don't know. It's always in between the 42 or 45 minute.
Yeah. There's some exact like edit they have to figure out for commercials.
I think
right?
our first episode is like mad long, and then after that, it's
they do like the special 2-hour premiere or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, it's very cool, and I'm excited to dive deeper into it.
Thank you very much.
So you have all that acting stuff going on, and you have a music career as well. I know everyone asks this, but do you have a preference?
I don't know. I always think about like if I had to really choose, and I just think they're too separate. Like they're too separate.
They're very, very
like, you
different.
know this, like being like an actor and a musician, it's like doing music is so personal, and it's like for me it's like an intimate space for me to just really like hone in and prioritize like my specific feelings. Versus like acting is like honing in and prioritizing somebody else's feelings completely, and maybe substituting some of those feelings with yours. But at the end of the day, like you're creating somebody else. Versus with music, it's like you're creating a piece of art like for you and for hopefully like other people to be able to like relate with and empathize with to like a certain degree. So I don't know.
Isn't that interesting with like acting? There's something. At least for most actors that I talk to, there's something very appealing about being someone else for, a short period of time.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? But then music feels much, much more personal.
Totally.
Like, I don't really enjoy writing music, but I love performing it. So, like, I don't really connect too deeply with, like, that personal sharing, you're writing and you're sharing, you're very vulnerable and you're sharing your art sort of a thing. And acting is an art form in and of itself as well, but there's something very cool about, like, in your case is a great example. You're a superhero. Like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get to play someone that has these crazy cool abilities, but then you get to go and you get to be, Olivia Holt 100% and like share your music. That's really, really cool to like have both sides.
It is. It's super cool. It's fun. I don't know. I find it exhilarating and thrilling and overwhelming and nerve-wracking all at the same time. And it's hard to do both. I realize like it's very difficult to like prioritize and focus on both.
Right.
But I think it's like all about like time management and like balancing like what you feel like in the moment is something that you really want to like put 110% into, because I've noticed like with music, like I don't want to force it. I don't want something to just like I don't want to just like keep putting stuff out that I'm not proud of, or that I'm gonna look back on and be like, why did I choose to do that? Like, I want it to be something that like I look back on and be like, in that very moment, like I was feeling myself.
That's so funny.
And like the same thing with acting, you know, like I want to like look back and be like, I love that project. Like I feel like that specific film, or even when it comes to like TV, like I want like some of these things I want to look back on them and be like, in the moment, like that's what was good for me at that time.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's crazy. It's crazy like how similar but different both like acting and music.
Yeah, they kind of can complement each other, and they also can kind of tug away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny that you sound just like my brother Ross right now. Like with one, he's like, I
Ross
want to put
and I have
something
had
out
these conversations
that I'm proud about, and,
yeah.
and you know, it's like, and while I totally get where you're coming from, and I absolutely respect that, and same with Ross, I at the same time I just like to work, and I just like I've dialed it down to like my purpose in life, and I just want to entertain as many people
which
as
is
possible.
Epic, totally epic.
So I'm just like, I just want to work. Like, I don't care. I'll go be a waiter and have 2 lines, and then I'll go and play bass for some artist. Like, I just like to do that. You know what I'm saying? And he's like more into like, you know, wanting to like hone in on the song that he writes, and it's just funny how personalities, you know, can totally shape what way you want to go about your career.
Yeah.
But yeah, you sound just like it. That's so
funny.
Well, and then so you guys did Status Update together,
right?
Which I love, by the way.
Thank you.
That was a fantastic movie, and I think whoever was in charge of marketing that, they did a very shitty job, and I'm not afraid to say it on camera because they dropped the ball. That was a fantastic movie. And it's on.
You're so savage right now.
It's on Hulu, I think.
The hurricane is making you so savage.
I can be savage if I really feel it. When I really believe in something, and that movie was really great. And I'm not just saying that because they wrote that song. The song was also fantastic.
Great song. Yeah.
But you guys, the movie, it was funny. It had great charisma. You guys together were awesome.
Thank
the
you.
actors, everyone was so great. And then, like, what happened?
I know. I feel like
do
more
you
eyes
look back
could
and
have seen
you're
that
just
movie.
like, what? Whose job was to put this out? This could have been awesome.
I know, and I definitely feel like that's the kind of movie that, like, not just like my generation, but I think like even the upcoming generation like can totally like vibe with. Like, I feel like that's the sort of movie that
I'm
they're
26
like,
years old, and I
vibed with it.
I loved it.
It was totally
and I
jam.
figured out that I used to be like, oh, am I biased towards like what my brothers do? Because like they, you know, Rocky and Ross obviously write, you know, all the songs, and Ellington as well, and you know, Rydell, she's got her clothing line, and I used to just like, in, you know, Ross doing his movies, and I used to wonder like, am I biased just because they're related to me? Like, or do I actually love what they're doing?
Yeah.
And I realized the other day, because they sent me they sent me a couple batches of songs, and one of them I was just like, guys, this is not good.
Yeah, well, that's...
And I realized I'm not biased.
You're not at all.
It was so great.
You
It was so
appreciate the
refreshing.
work and the art, and then if it's like not your jam, if it's like something like you
Yeah,
don't like
it
connect
is
with,
art,
then
so it's all subjective anyway.
Totally,
but
yeah.
Status Update was just
I
fantastic.
think so too.
It really was. And
Yeah.
I think it's on Hulu right now.
Oh, that's rad. I didn't know that.
I feel like I saw it scrolling through Bachelors in Paradise. That's the real reason why I made a tropical drink today.
That's right, because it's on. Mm-hmm. Wait, it's not? Okay, no.
It is. No, I'll be totally honest. My fiance, I haven't got to say that on camera yet.
The fact that you're saying that with me here on camera right now is amazing.
Yeah, you scored the big interview. This is like
I'm so honored, honestly.
No, but she loves the show, and I was like, come on, it's like reality TV, like what? And I watched one, and I was like, oh, this is awesome.
It's bad.
It's so funny.
It's dangerous.
It's so funny.
It's amazing.
So.
My dad will text me stuff about it. You and my dad should watch it together. That's
oh
what
yeah, that'd be great. We'll have like
it's so funny.
a dude's night watch Bachelors.
My dad will literally text me about it. I'm like, why are you watching this?
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember meeting your dad early on because he's just so funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my hair. That came right out. What's going on? Is it hot in here? Is it the rum?
I can't breathe.
Anyways, yeah, he's just got so much great energy. I love it.
I know. My dad and I are like best friends, and I'm happy that him and I have that relationship. I get we have the same exact humor.
Yeah.
So I think it's just easy
That's
to
gotta be
like,
really fun.
yeah, it's easy to like talk to him. And
do you know how far apart you guys are?
my dad and I, like age wise,
Yeah.
like 30 years.
30?
Yeah.
That's me and my dad. Great relationship.
Really?
There's something between like 25 and 35, I think, where there's like a great sweet spot. Where you
Yeah,
just have
that's
great
actually really
relationships.
fascinating. I didn't even think about that.
I don't know how accurate that really is based, I haven't like gone around and asked everybody, but for me, I've been thinking about that, in the future, like when I have kids, I just have a great relationship with my dad, and he's almost exactly 30 years older than me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Do you have any fun status update stories? Because I really want people to watch that, and I just think any sort of, you know what I just thought of? I wish I had an umbrella for this drink.
Oh yeah.
That would have really topped it off.
That would have really topped off the tropical environment that you have going on.
That was a super side note. I apologize
That's okay.
for interrupting my question.
No,
But
that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you some umbrellas.
Status update. Status update.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything that we did. We had a lot of fun. I remember
because that was in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, we shot it up in Vancouver, and I remember actually a pretty amazing story the night where Ross and I filmed. There's a scene that we have. I'm sure you remember. We're up on a Ferris wheel. Yeah. I say night. We actually shot from 10 p.m. to sunrise.
Nice.
So it was super long night, and I remember going around that Ferris wheel about 100 times, doing the scene about 100 times. It was freezing cold. I had heating pads
really?
All over my body. Yeah, super, super cold. And then I remember they were setting up different shot, and Ross and I went back into the tent that they had set up for us with heaters because I was I'm gonna get sick. And I don't know what I don't know what happens to me after 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah, you get a little
I get weird delirious. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't stop laughing. And this is more of I had to be there moment. But
right.
I swear to God, Ross was scared of me. Ross was I can't work with her anymore. She's gotta go. I couldn't stop laughing, and then we had a
then that carries over to the scene.
Yeah.
And then you're just laughing
and the
at
scene
everything.
was romantic and sweet
right.
and I couldn't keep it together. Could not.
I think that has got to drive the crew nuts, but as far as the actors go, that is some fun
it's so
stuff.
Fun, yeah.
When you just have a mad case of the giggles,
yeah.
and everything is funny.
Yeah. Literally everything. And it wasn't just Ross that was in the tent with us. There's this man who was supposed to be greeting us to bring us onto the Ferris wheel, mm-hmm. and this poor man was just going at day job. This is just he was just coming in for the day.
Right.
And he had to sit in that room with us while I was having my laugh attack. And this man had just met me, had no idea who I was. At least I've known Ross for a while, so he could tolerate it. This man was not
He's
having
what did I sign up for?
I know. We had a lot of fun rehearsal days, though. I remember the whole entire cast and I we would go out on the town in Vancouver and just explore. And the rehearsal days were really fun. There's obviously a lot of musical numbers in the movie, so I spent a lot of time honing in and dialing in on that, and it was fun. I've never done anything like that before.
Didn't you guys do some sort of barbershop quartet thing?
Yeah, with John Michael Higgins.
Yes.
So me, Ross, Markian, and John, we had a full couple days of just I think scenes together, and John was telling us about how he knows how to barbershop quartet.
Right.
And we were that's so cool.
Which is the coolest thing.
Yeah,
ever.
we were teach us.
Yeah.
And so he taught us. And it's this song, I don't even know if this is the title, but the first line is, "Do you believe in love and honey?" Mm-hmm. And so I think it's called "Do You Believe?" I think that's the title. I'm making this up on the spot. I really don't know.
Or maybe it's just called "Do You Believe in Love and Honey?"
Yeah, but it's incredible, and I don't even know if I don't even know if people have actually seen us do it. Have you seen it?
I saw.
We
I don't remember
recorded
if
a
Ross
video.
texted us a video or if it was on Instagram. We'll throw a clip up right now.
Do you believe in kissing, honey? You bet I do. Well, I believe in kissing, honey, when the moon is new.
That's awesome.
I've done that. We've done that.
That's
We're
really
like talking
cool.
about something. We're like, I don't know what happened, but let's see.
Like, that's amazing. All right, sorry. That was pretty epic. Yeah, but we did it in like the stairwell of like one of the locations that we were shooting at, and so the acoustics in there were so perfect.
Nice,
and yeah, we worked on it
reverb.
forever, and we wanted to show the entire crew, and we never found time. But I'm happy we made the video because now we can like show the world and maybe one day be a group.
Do a little like city walk performance.
That would be awesome.
That would be way cool.
That would be
I would pay.
amazing.
I'd pay for it.
Okay, good. I'm holding you to that. When we become a group, you better be
I
there
will.
front and center.
I will buy a ticket, but I would also be slightly bummed if I didn't get a guest list spot.
Okay, I
You
know
know,
a guy. We can make it happen. We can make it happen.
Perfect. We've talked a good amount about your acting stuff, which is probably what most people, would you say, know you from?
Probably.
Yeah. But your music's also really, really fantastic. I am a big fan of Generous.
Thank you.
Which I'm really bummed that you didn't have that one when I was working with you on the tour.
I know.
Because that is a really, I mean, you had all really good songs,
Thank
but
you.
that one, really good.
Yeah, I remember like feeling. So I went on the tour and I had so much fun, and I felt like I learned a lot about myself. I feel like being on the road.
You do. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a weird
self-discovery.
Yeah, because you're like
journey.
doing the same thing every day, but then you
Yeah.
like have to try and figure out how to like make it fresh and entertaining to yourself.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of definite self-discovery.
Yeah, I agree. And I think after that, I was like in this headspace of like loving that feeling, like loving like the high of just like sort of like finding new things about myself that I like qualities that like I can dig for like the rest of my life. And then I was just feeling good. Like I was like feeling myself and like really like feeling like the space and headspace that I was at in my life was just so perfect. And then I got Generous, and I heard the song and I was like, this could not be like, this literally describes like everything that I'm feeling so perfectly.
Yeah.
Like
Isn't that great how
bold
the
and
universe
confident
answers
and like,
sometimes?
yeah. And I was like, this is like something that like I have to at least put my vocal on,
Right.
see how I feel about it. And I remember hearing it back and being like, this is like, I want this out. Like I want like the world to like feel this good.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I feel like a lot of people responded positively to it. And I actually was in New Orleans, and I made the music video for it there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, in a hotel that we shot one of our scenes at.
Oh, very
in
cool.
Cloak
It was
and
like a
Dagger.
little
Yeah.
cross,
It was,
kind of a
it's
tie
crazy. So,
Easter
and I
egg
don't think
thing.
anybody's ever like noticed that, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the
I'm definitely going to look for it now.
yeah, it's in the second episode we film in this hotel, and then that hotel was actually the hotel we used for the Generous music video.
Cool.
But yeah, super epic, and it was really fun. And I just felt like that's like the one music video I feel like where like my personality like actually like
really came through. Yeah.
through, and people can like tell like, okay, she's like they were mostly outtakes. Like
Oh, yeah?
all of like the takes that were chosen for the music video were just like me just like goofing off and like not being
That's awesome.
serious.
Well,
Yeah.
all right, what are your next plans for music? Because I know you're going into season 2 of Cloak and Dagger. Do you have any, touring other music plans? I know it's very difficult, because I do similar things
Right.
like music and acting.
Yeah.
And I love them both equally.
Yeah.
So I know it's very hard, especially when you're rolling in one, like, you got a big show going on, so season 2.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult to plan, but
It is-
are you,
it's a
do you have
little
anything in
difficult.
your head where you're like, I really want to do this?
Yeah, I am. I've actually spent most of the beginning of like this year really focusing on writing and just
cool.
sort of like I want to be able to like have input and be like as involved as possible as I should be, because it's like my music,
Right,
so
right,
I want to
right.
be able to like have like a full
Do you enjoy
grasp.
that part? Like, are you doing writing sessions?
Yeah,
stuff
and
like
I
that?
love it. I love it. It's given me a chance to like sort of understand like the songwriting world, and also like people. Like
Yeah.
I've met so many like different types of
It's
people
like
and the way that their
speed
brain
dating,
works.
right?
I was literally just about to say that. It is exactly like speed
Like
dating.
a writing session is
Yeah,
speed dating.
and I've
You have-
never done speed dating, so that was like I was like, I'm speed dating and understanding
And-
writing like sessions at the same time.
Like lots of information.
Crazy, so much
Yeah,
information.
you have to find a connection and
Yeah.
somewhat of chemistry with these other writers.
Absolutely.
Within like 10 minutes and then write a song that you are going to want to release. That is
Yeah.
incredibly difficult.
It's so difficult, and I didn't realize. I thought I was gonna go in, and I knew that there were gonna be like a few bumps or maybe challenges, but it's hard. Like to be
Yeah.
able to like go into a room and then to say, "Hey, I'm so and so," and I'm like, "Hey, I'm Olivia," and they're like, "Cool. Tell me about what you're going through right now." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Whoa."
You're like, we just met.
I know. I'm
dude.
like, I don't think I'm ready for that. So it's difficult, yeah. But I've gotten some great songs out of it, and some songs that aren't that great, and that's fine because I think it makes me like appreciate the sessions and the songs that are good that much more.
Yeah,
So,
and also like I said earlier, it's art. It's all
Absolutely.
subjective, and you're going to be your
Absolutely.
hardest critic, obviously.
Yeah,
so
obviously.
what you might be like, I don't think that's very good. A bunch of other people would be like, "Yo, love this."
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain hated all of his big songs.
Yeah.
Like hated them.
that's such a bummer. See, I don't know if I want that. Like, I think I want I don't ever want to hate them. Like I want to be like, all right.
I think, yeah, I agree. I don't think you want to
Yeah.
hate them, but I think you can get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm playing this one again, but it's huge.
Yeah.
So what's up, play this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll see. And I think I just want to like keep putting music out that like I feel solid in.
Right.
Solid and comfortable and happy.
Do you have like a tentative release or anything music
As
wise?
of now, like I'm doing a lot of really cool collaborations, which is exciting because
Oh,
I get
sweet.
to like work with a lot of different like DJs
Like DJ
and
producer
yeah,
stuff,
and I
cool.
think it's rad, and I think most of that stuff right now is like really killing it, and I think a lot of people like really dig like that sort of like house music, which I think is fun, but I don't know, like I'm sort of like stepping my toes into like different genres and just introducing myself to like different people and artists and musicians because I think it's nice and to sort of like understand like the music community. And
Yeah. Anyways, Olivia, thank you so much
My dude,
for
thank
coming out
you.
here to my
You like
lovely
finished yours
studio.
already? I didn't even see you drink it at all.
Oh yeah, well I'm a very good listener, so just listen.
I'm not kidding. I never saw you pick up your drink once.
It was good. This has been a very fun time. You can stay as long as you like and enjoy
Thank you.
the hurricane. But seriously, thank you. I know you have a lot going on in your wonderful career, and you made time for this, and I really, really appreciate that.
Are you
That was
kidding?
very
Thank
nice of
you. The drink was awesome.
Also,
Yeah, so-
I did forget to mention that we had the best time in Brazil.
Oh my god, the best time.
Like, that was my favorite Brazil trip. And I've been to Brazil like 5 times.
Have
That
you
was-
really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we tour a lot. Also, they love us down there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, we're big crowds. It's very
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But yeah, like 4 or 5 times, and that was so much
It
fun.
was fun. I loved
Like,
it.
no idea why we ended up at an Irish pub in Brazil, but
I
mean,
know.
it kind of just worked,
I
and it
know.
was so much fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah. Did you ever try caipirinha when we were there?
I'm sorry, what?
That's like the Brazilian. It's like Brazil rum with. It's not Brazil rum, but it's called cachaça. It's kind of like a margarita, but
I'm gonna be
Did you-
honest.
you
I
didn't-
don't remember.
well, next time when
Okay,
you're there,
next time.
make sure 'cause it's like the
Absolutely.
thing to try, and I
Okay,
love them.
perfect.
And if I knew how to make it, I would have made it because of the Brazil. But you're filming in New Orleans,
this is
so
perfect. This was honestly the perfect drink.
I'm glad it worked out.
Thank you.
I almost made something different, and then I was like, no, it shoots in New Orleans. I remembered. So
No, genius.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you're lovely. Thanks for coming out.